All right, we turn our attention to Nigeria now, where a cryptocurrency exchange has announced its departure from Nigeria, citing local laws and regulatory challenges as its reason. This move follows similar decisions by other crypto exchanges, one of which is currently facing legal proceedings in Nigeria. In a message to customers, the exchange stated that as of August 16, users will no longer be able to open new trading positions or access services, but they will still be able to withdraw funds and close existing positions. Joining me for more on this is Ola Atose, the CEO, KoiKoin Exchange. Thank you, Ola, for joining me today.
Yes, very good morning to you there. Thank you for having me, Perpetua.
Well, good to have you today. How significant is the departure of this exchange from the Nigerian market? I mean, the exchange cited local laws and regulatory challenges, and I'm asking if this trend is actually inimical to the growth of cryptocurrency or crypto exchanges or virtual assets in the country.
Yes, there are now guidelines which have been set forward by the Securities and Exchange Commission here in Nigeria. And the understanding now is every single exchange that wishes to operate in Nigeria has to follow the guidelines set out by SEC. In essence, what that means is every exchange or virtual asset service provider has to apply to SEC and make their intention to operate in Nigeria known to the regulatory bodies. So that's the approach. I, for one, have called for, or have been calling for regulations of the virtual asset services industry in Nigeria for over 3 years, and personally very glad that the SEC is now taking this on board and providing regulatory guidelines. And of course, there's now a regulatory incubator where we're all being invited to participate in. So this, I think, is a step in the right direction.
Talking about, okay, I think it's better now. Great. You're talking about some steps that, SEC is taking all of that. But away from that, let's look at what some persons are saying as clampdown. Let's look at the underlying cause of this perceived clampdown. Can we justify it? Do we have proof that the activities of these crypto exchanges somehow was able or is able to sway the value of Naira in any way?
So if your question is with regards to price discovery on the Nigerian Naira, yes, there is, in my view, a concern that any price discovery which may or may not be going on some of the platforms which may be operating in Nigeria without a license could potentially lead to irregular pricing and devaluation of the Naira. Yes, it's certainly a possibility. Typically with the sort of, what is typically called P2P or many-to-many boards, where you have several persons valuing the Naira without any insight or foresight, from the central authorities, there is a risk that if these, P2P boards, so to speak, are allowed to operate, without oversight, that yes, there could potentially be a risk, to the Naira. And with that in mind, the regulators have obviously sought, to say, okay, well, you can operate, but here are the guidelines and here's a framework that you can operate within. And I feel that that framework not only protects the Naira, but will also protect Nigerians and the Nigerian businesses, as a whole. And I feel that that's the right approach to have.
Of some of the crypto exchanges, because you've talked about how that the SEC is coming up with regulations and that we have crypto exchanges that are embracing this. But for those who are exiting, what do you read into that?
So for those who are exiting, perhaps, they feel that they wish to either look into other markets. Of course, the cryptocurrency, digital assets, virtual assets market is quite large, across the world. Yes, Nigeria is a large country, but I feel that the focus for now, in line with what the SEC's been saying, that there's a need and a necessity for virtual asset services providers to operate. If you are to operate in Nigeria, You have to operate, with obviously, with your senior management regime. There will be a need to have a Nigerian on the board. Of course, there will be need to have a presence in Nigeria. And I think the view for some of these exchanges that have operated here in the past is that they're not willing to perhaps invest in having a physical presence here in Nigeria. And some exchanges, again, which are foreign, are perhaps looking at Nigeria as well. We wish to operate virtually. We don't want to have a presence in Nigeria. If part of the ask is to have a physical presence in Nigeria, we no longer wish to operate. So that's the view I think some exchanges are taking. But again, the way we see the market is there are a lot of us, who are running exchanges or looking to start up exchanges who are already in a strategic partnership with the SEC and already have a presence, here in Nigeria, like ourselves, KoiKoin, we have a presence here in Nigeria. And yes, we intend to get licensed and begin operating the appropriate way.
Talking about this, I'm just wondering, beyond having a physical presence, isn't there another way we can have these people run their businesses here in Nigeria, looking at how big that market is and also ensuring that Nigeria doesn't totally lose out?
Well, yes, of course, the market's quite big. And of course, any of the exchanges, which get licensed will still be able to provide Nigerians with a safe and secure access to virtual assets. So yes, the market is big, and we for one are certainly excited, about having the opportunity to offer Nigerians access to virtual assets of all types, right? So clearly now we're moving to a world of tokenization of real assets. We're moving down the world of moving to the world of real world assets, if you like, where tokens will be backed by real assets. So I think it's an exciting time for virtual assets as a whole. And at KoiKoin, we're certainly excited, to be at some point in the regulatory incubator and to be able to provide, these services to, to Nigerians.
All right, Ola, where exactly, in clear terms, in plain terms, where exactly is Nigeria with cryptocurrency? What exactly, can we say is Nigeria's policy here?
Well, I think we've learned a lot over the last, 3 to 4 years. There have been some mishaps. There have been some issues along the line, not necessarily in Nigeria, but across the globe with some exchanges getting hacked and, different exchanges having a number of different issues. But now, in the world of exchange-traded funds and ETFs across the West, a lot of Bitcoin, Ethereum, for example, are now getting a lot of attention, a lot more than they previously did. And we feel that with all the lessons that have been learned across the world, Nigeria is in a unique position, to come out, regulate the space, make it safe for Nigerians, and, upwards into the future. So I think Nigeria is in a perfect place right now to set the tone for regulations. Again, regulations are key. Financial services and every sector within financial services need regulations to ensure the market is indeed safe, for companies like ourselves and obviously individuals who wish to be involved, who wish to trade, virtual assets. So I think, for Nigeria now, the future is very bright. The approach, by the regulator and indeed by those of us who are seeking to be licensed, I think is the right way forward. And as I mentioned earlier, it provides protection not just for ourselves, but also for all Nigerians. So I think we're on the right track.
Well, to balance the two ends, what are your recommendations? Balancing the fact that we have crypto exchanges that want to participate, that want to trade in Nigeria. And on the other hand, we have Nigeria saying, we want to be very careful on all of those. How do we, balance it so we're not losing out at the end of the day?
So there are a number of concerns, obviously, by a number of bodies here in Nigeria. And, the onus is on us in the private sector. And of course, those in government to come together to work and make this, this sector comfortable for all. So to that end, we are happy to put our hands up. We're here to help. We're here to assist. We're here to work with all bodies that have an interest in ensuring that cryptocurrencies, trading of them, holding of them is safe for Nigerians and also for businesses that wish to operate in Nigeria. And again, to answer your question, to that end, there's so much work that needs to be done. And what's being fed into the regulatory framework, we're glad to be a part of it. We're glad to bring our expertise to the table to assist with what's required and what we need to do, again, most especially to keep this sector safe and at the same time keep it secure and also provide benefit not just to a few, but to all Nigerians who wish to be involved in this space.
Ola Atose, CEO, KoiKoin Exchange, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.